Tommy Twigg.
Simon McLean, how are
Great
you?
to meet you.
Yes.
First Postle boy I've had in here.
Yes, Postle Park, born and bred.
So the first thing I should do really is, you're not obliged to say anything, Tommy, but anything you do say will be taken down, recorded, and maybe used in evidence. I bet it's not the first time you've heard that, big man.
Well, I was actually quite a good boy.
Aye.
Yeah, I was a good lad. I was a prefect at school and all that.
Oh,
as well,
yes,
so-
please. Cut.
Absolutely.
Finish. I'm not getting the scandal.
No.
Tommy. Where were you born in Postle? Or where were you brought up?
We lived, they called it the jungle
Right.
back then, right?
Yes.
When I was a kid, we stayed in Arddock Street, which is just next to the library there,
Yes.
just along Saracen Street. And we moved up to Tor Street. I always said that Tor Street was out of the four streets, that was the poshest street,
Okay.
you know?
Right. Somebody in curtains.
No, they used to park the stolen motors there. And,
So it looked posh.
Aye.
The fact that they were on fire had nothing to do with it.
But a lot of good people come out of
Yes.
Postle Park, you know, and I'm always proud to say I came from there. You
Yeah.
know? West End now. Boy,
And see, when I met you, there's that affinity right away, Tommy. I don't know if you feel the same. And I think it's a schemy thing. Do you know what I mean? I think there's an honesty there.
Aye.
That there's no
What-
bull, you know.
What you see is what you get, and what
Yeah.
I liked about growing up in Postle was, I mean, nowadays I know people were too busy locking their doors and stuff, but see if you needed sugar, you shouted down, Nancy, and you would walk in the door and take some sugar, and then the next day you would give the sugar back. You know, you were never struggling. We had it tough growing
Yeah.
up, you know.
And everybody knew that everybody else was struggling week to week as well. So you helped each other get through the week.
Yeah, and I know nowadays, as I say, there's that closed door mentality. But I remember growing up and all the mums were out playing rounders and all that with the bats and stuff, and
Right.
you know, and then you played football with all the neighbours and guys that were older than you, and that's the way you learned. There was a wee place called the Dannymac. We called it the Dannymac, the Terasaki. That was there beside, it's from last street, where the 18th place and that was, you
Yes.
know, and stuff. So that's, you kicked the ball for sort of morning, noon and night, wasn't it? You know, a 10-21, everybody gets a
We
game.
had a back garden.
Oh,
We were in
right.
the prefab in Allender Street.
Okay, I know, yeah.
My own football pitch.
Oh,
I think it'd be better, wouldn't you?
right, then okay,
Yeah.
you know.
That was on Allender Street, the old prefab. So long
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
The houses they built in their place when I was 12 or something
Yeah.
have now been knocked down and more houses built, and now they're gone as well.
Well, there's a new thing up there. It's you might have heard of the Postle Co-op, right? So my late mother, Mary, and some of her friends and that, and some of the local residents got together and made sure that we got. I think it was Lafferty's that came in and did the windows and all that, and we get rewired and stuff. So there's a wee plaque up at the Hawthorne Housing Co-op where my mammy's name is on it up
That's
there.
lovely.
So, and she was in Evening Times years ago. I think it was Patricia Ferguson, I think. So it was a photo of her and my ma saying, this wee lady helped tame the jungle. And I thought, I kept that, you know.
That's brilliant.
Aye.
Yeah.
But fond memories.
So what did you do when you left school? What school did you go to, Tommy?
I went to, firstly, I was St Teresa's. But
Same here.
but the teacher kept picking on me. Aye, she picked on me. I
What
don't
was her
know why.
name?
Was it Workman? Maybe Mrs.
right.
Workman, I'm not sure. But
Mine was a Mrs. Curry
Yeah.
at St. Teresa's.
I ended
Because
up,
I was left-handed.
yeah.
She wouldn't let me write with my left hand.
Right.
She made me use this one.
Right.
I don't know what that's
Yeah.
for.
I ended up down at St Kentigern's.
Right.
So St Kentigern's. Then I moved up to St Augustine's up in the mountains. So I was a
Okay,
prefect.
my brother
there.
went there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was a prefect.
You keep saying this. Prefect.
No, listen, and my two oldest brothers. They
Is it
were
on your
prefects as well.
CV? Is that on your
Yeah, I've
CV?
got that. Absolutely. And was it? I met a guy. I met a guy one time, and I can't remember what it was in Blackpool or something. They went, "You're too polite to come for Postle." I went, "There you go, yeah, Bampot."
That's better.
tweet, Postle Fleet. But no, great people come out of Postle, and loved it. I loved growing up there. As I say, we had nothing, you know, and but everybody looked after each other.
We moved up to Springburn when the prefab got knocked down.
Right.
That would be about when you were born, probably.
1970.
I was 59, so I was a wee bit ahead of you.
Right.
And the prefabs were gone when you were born. They knocked them down.
Okay.
So, came out of school. You go to college or anything?
Believe it or not, and I came out of school without any O levels. But what they did was,
School some.
No, that's that was a good joke. But I came out of school with 8 O levels, but the Johnny got me the gate and told me to take them back. No, we did work experience, and I went up to Stop Hill.
Yes.
They don't use the word like geriatric unit anymore, right?
No.
So it took me up there, and one of the tasks I had to do was assist an 80-year-old guy to shave.
Right.
And I shaved this man, and we just get chatting away, and I knew for then that I wanted to be sort of in the care field, the care game.
Okay.
You know.
You were 16.
Yeah, well, around about 18.
Aye,
I
okay.
had a lot of tough times. I say growing up, I had a diagnosed with a stomach ulcer. I had it for about 3 years before they said that I actually
That's
had
what it was.
an ulcer and stuff. So I was like that. I was a lot thinner than what I am now. You know. But
It's only the camera that makes us look this
yeah, I know
size.
that's just see that there.
Well, not really this size, obviously.
Put £10 on you.
Athletes.
Yeah, so I did.
Did you play football through school as well, Tom?
I played football as well, and I was lucky enough to end up. I had a year at Glasgow Perthshire as well.
Right.
I remember. I'm sure I shipped 5 goals. We were playing Partick Thistle in a friendly. I was centre half, but you can edit that out later anyway. You know,
Keep it in. The Jags scored 5. That's the last time.
I think it was at Alan Lawrence as a Nipper.
Right.
Was the manager at the time. But no, fond memories of that. And but I got into the coaching, and enjoyed the coaching. I helped out the local primary school. My kids had went to Saracen Primary School, so I helped the teacher there, Stevie Murray. I helped him. It was football against drugs and all that sort of stuff. If you remember all that, tribe.
I do. Yes. Is this a theme then, Tommy? The coaching and the working with elderly people and caring. Is that a theme through your life?
I think I found a vocation
and entertaining that we'll come on to as well. What was the vocation?
Well, the vocation's really a bit of both. I mean, it's like a carer. I mean, I did support work for years as well, so I worked with adults with physical and mental difficulties and stuff, and and just doing support work and helping people in the community. So I've always had that in me, you know. Yeah. But the other side, the sort of entertaining side, is I think I've been a show off ever since I was a kid, you know.
So how did that start?
Well, it started. It was back. We did a play. We did a play in school. I ended up going to the Glasgow Schools Youth Theatre.
Okay.
It's what was that again? Oh God, down at Maryhill. They used to meet down there at the school down there. And I ended up in the Scottish Youth Theatre as well back in 1986, and I had to audition for that and pay my fees as well. And I remember getting some stick back at the time, because if you were into theatre and into acting, people always kind of questioned your orientation and all that sort of stuff. So, but no, I was the postal lad that went and done that, and I really, really enjoyed it, you know. And from there, I went on to entertaining and care homes and shelter complexes and stuff. And
did they want you to come and entertain, or were you just strolling in and singing?
Funny enough, there was I found a clip. Is it the Gen newspaper? I think it's the Gen. It used to be the Gen or the Next Gen newspaper. So it came up on Facebook, and it says local entertainer has a new fan base in the north of the city. And we went up to we ended up at Petershill playing up there as well. Then it was up at the community centre there on Spalding Hall. Community centre.
Yeah. So
we just get all the pensioners and all the seniors in and get them up line dancing and all that, and the sloshing and all that. So it had always been there, and for there it kind of I got myself a wee agent. And
did you play the birthday song?
Yes, I do that. And the other ones
I had to learn that on stage. I had to learn that.
That's easy. You need to do the choo-choo.
I was in the Glenburn Hotel in Rossi waiting for the crowd to come in, and they came in. And it was McGill's buses that brought them in.
Right, okay.
And they all had their dinner, and most of them fell asleep, certainly. But the ones that got up to dance, that's what they wanted, was the slosh.
I remember.
I can still play it in my sleep.
I remember doing a gig through in Bannockburn, and I just seen this wee man come in. He had 2 walking sticks, and I thought, what's going on here? You know, you're singing, you're entertaining, and you could just see this commotion out of the corner of your eye. And it was actually, he'd asked the people at the tables next to him to get him up, and this guy was up the sticks dancing on the floor. It was great.
Brilliant.
absolutely brilliant. So
it makes it worthwhile, doesn't it?
it does. As I
Is
say,
there some footage of you that we can find online then?
I'm sure you can. Aye.
You're going to tell us where? No.
Listen, you'll get it. You'll get
Is
it.
that your stage name as well, Tommy Twigg?
That's my real name, and that's my stage name. You know, because I said I've stopped with the police a couple of times, and like, what's your name, son? My name's Tommy Twigg. Aye, and I'm the Tooth Fairy. And then once they do their checks and all that, no criminal record. Never been caught yet.
Yet.
And yeah,
you're here now.
I know.
The doors are way over there.
I see that. But aye, so that's my real name, and it's doubled as my stage name as well. So,
where does that name originate, Tommy Twigg? Because it's an unusual name, isn't it?
Apparently, it's Cheshire. It's based in
it's an
Cheshire.
English name.
Yeah. Aye. But as I say, it doubles up as the stage name as well. And as I say, I was lucky.
The obvious thing to ask you is that there's a lot of Twiggs, obviously. Is there a different branch of the family?
No, I was actually going to join the police. I get knocked back for the special branch, you know. But leave me alone.
As if you'd never heard any of these before, Tommy.
I know. But it's been great. It's been absolutely fantastic. You know.
So football throughout that, you played football at school. You played for a year at Perthshire.
Yeah.
Were you still playing through your 20s and 30s? Were you still
I did, yeah. I ended up playing. I know that you always ask your interviewees what team they support. So if I tell you, for 6 years, I played with one of the greatest teams out there, and it was the number one London Road Celtic Supporters Club. So
right.
I played with them for 6 years. We played up at Barlia, and we played up at Springburn. So great bunch of guys, and I loved it. I loved it.
Supporters League.
Yeah. And, they won cups and trophies and stuff. So,
right.
But I always say, people that know me, I'll always say I'm probably a better coach than I was a player.
Well, I've seen you playing, so even I can vouch for that.
There you go.
And I've never seen you coaching.
I know, but hopefully I'll get to do that. I'll get to do that in the next few months, but I'm sure we'll come to that.
So when did you first hear of the term walking football?
Walking football, I kind of knew about walking football. I'd seen it somewhere online, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was back in 2019. I think you guys were playing indoors.
So it's quite recent that you got involved with walking football?
Playing wise, yeah, but I kind of knew about it. As I say, I came over to Bellahouston. It was an indoor session.
Okay.
And I had this idea of, and we'll talk about my vocation and that, taking walking football that next wee step. I know it's growing and it's great to see, but I'm hoping to take it to a whole different demographic of people, you know.
Okay, and this is going to fit in with the caring that you've been doing. Well, let's rewind slightly then. Is this to do with the health issues that you've had over the last few years as well?
I've had a few. I've had a few health issues over the past. I think the past 14 months, Simon's
right.
not been
as
great.
Recent as that?
Yeah.
So is walking football going to be, is what you've discovered then, is that walking football can form a big part of people's recovery and part of their social network?
Well, definitely. I kind of spoke to my GP, and I never took up too much of her time, by the way, but I told her briefly about walking football, and she thought, that's great. I'd like to get something like my folk into it and stuff. So, but me, health-wise, not to bore anybody, 14 months ago, I took COVID really, really bad. And I ended up on 5 litres oxygen and steroids. And I didn't think I was going to get out of
it. You were in intensive care?
I'd say I was in intensive care, but...
You were in hospital?
Let's say I'd said my goodbyes. I'd made peace with myself in there. And because obviously, with the pandemic, your family don't get to see you and stuff. And I was really worried. I'm not worried. I'm more of a thinker.
Yes.
You know. So I came out, and just a week later, I suffered a stroke.
Right.
And I'll never forget what happened that day. I think they caught me quite early. You know.
Who were you? Do you want to talk about this?
Okay? I can talk about it.
The reason I'm asking is because we're all in the same boat. Mm-hmm. Most of us are older than you, Tommy, playing walking football. Yeah. And these things can happen, as you're going to explain. I think it's nice to know, not nice to know, it's beneficial to know what the signs might be or what the...
Well, I had went to Maryhill Health Centre just for a random blood check.
Okay.
And I remember driving up, and I was parking the car. There was enough room to get the car in, right? But for some strange reason, I hit the curb, you know, and I thought, it's a bit uncharacteristic to do that. when I hadn't got my bloods, I came home and I sat down and I turned around and I said to my partner, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a wuzzy.
Right.
She went, what? I said, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a wuzzy and I can't get into my mobile phone. You never ever forget your password for your mobile phone. So that was gone. So, Michael, his girlfriend was actually up visiting.
Is your boy?
It's my stepson.
Right.
And so his partner, she's a nurse.
Okay.
So my partner had shouted her in to check me over and we did all the checks and stuff. And to be honest, she just didn't like the look of me. Dialed 999. The crew were there quite quick. They must have been having their lunch or whatever in Knightswood. But I remember getting checked over whilst the other person said to my partner, we don't know what's up with him. We've seen somebody in a stroke. We've never seen somebody taking a stroke.
Yes. Yes.
So I remember walking to the ambulance and one of my neighbours must have just blanked him. He says, hi Tommy, how you doing? I went into the ambulance and I just remember, keep talking, keep alert. Right, because I could see they were
That's
concerned.
what you're thinking in your mind.
Yeah, and then I heard the lady in the cabin go like that, I don't like this, I'm blue lighting it. And you know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble when you go there. So, and when you get taken through, there's people being waiting for
hours. How were you feeling? Physically? A headache or?
Well, nothing really.
Disorientated?
It hit me. It came on me, but it must have been working on me. And
these were the warning signals?
Yeah. Yes. And it turns out that they actually seen it happen as I was going through the CT machine. So they seen it happening. I had a blockage.
An aneurysm?
And that's just a clot in my neck, if you like.
Right.
And so they kind of got me early. And I remember being in the room and like speech and language and that coming in and speaking to me, the physios and all that, and asking me, do you know what day of the week it is? And do you know what your name is? Do you know what your date of birth is? I'm not saying I felt kind of silly, but I know that they've got to ask.
Did you not say I'm a apostle boy? I don't do that stuff.
You don't do that. You don't keep track of the time and stuff. I know. Aye. And
you're aware of what's happening here. You know what's happening to you.
When the guy was putting all the stuff on me, he says, Mr. Twigg, we're going to get you up to the ward. And I heard Dorothy's name getting mentioned with the registrar. He says, we're going to get you up to the ward. Aye. You've just had a stroke. I went, hold on, back up here, right? So they took me up, as I say, and they looked at me and they went, do you know what, we caught you just in time. They said, look, we could take you a couple of doors down and show you what a stroke does to you, right? I thought, okay. So they put me on this sort of clot-busting medication. Okay. Whatever it was, I'd taken a reaction to it. So I ended up back in the hospital yet again because I looked as if I was on the beach without any sun cream on, right? So they managed to get that all sorted out and they did a further scan and they told me I'd since had a further silent stroke.
Right.
And they told me not to drive. So when they told me not to drive, bearing in mind that you're relying on driving, that's your vocation at the time. As I say, I was working as a support worker and stuff. You need your car. That for me put me on the backwards spiral. They told me that the clot had reduced, but it had broken away to my brain. So you automatically think, that's great, they don't need to operate, but I'm now a walking time bomb.
Yes.
Right? So it really, really set me back and stuck in the house and stuff. And off-sick, and that was it. I thought that was it. Everything's done here. It's over, you know. And
you're just waiting for it to happen again. Really, is that the
state? Having to inform the DVLA and stuff at that time. It put me back, and it put me into a wee bit of depression. I don't mind talking about that.
Of course.
And stuff. So I ended up.
Tommy, see if it hadn't, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Your whole life has changed in that.
Do you know what?
Second, really.
I got counselling, right? It's one of those ones where we always say talk about things, right? Yes. But I've got a wee close circle of friends, but I wouldn't want to think that I'd phone them and they'd see my number come up and they're going to go, it's not him again, you know. You know, so it was an organisation called Cope Scotland. Yes. I think they were based in Drumchapel, and there was a person there that I spoke to every week, and it wasn't a family member, it wasn't a friend, it wasn't a neighbour.
Yeah.
And I was sometimes when I was spending days in bed and I was losing track of time and the demon drink, as they say. That was you know,
as well as the meds.
Aye, Aye. It got to the stage.
And what support was there for you, apart from COPE, which is a charity?
Mm-hmm.
What were the NHS doing? What was your GP doing? What was the safety nets that are there for people that have had a stroke and can't drive and all of a sudden find themselves unwell?
I went and got some physio. I felt I needed to get physio and stuff, and I ended up getting put onto a stroke psychologist. And I always thought, speaking to a psychologist, and I thought, do you know what? Let's just do this.
Yes.
And a psychologist came to visit me a couple of times in the house, and I broke down 3 times.
Okay, that's maybe what was required. Was to bring those fears to the surface and talk to somebody about it. Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying to the guy, I know humour gets you through lots of things, but I said to the guy, am I mental? He says, Tommy, it's not that you're mental. He says, all the things I was going to ask you, you've already answered. He says, I know it's been tough. He says, I can't imagine how you felt saying your goodbyes in the hospital, because I never want to be back there. I don't. That was really. I was frightened. I was scared.
Yes.
It was everything, and I don't mind. I'm a big guy and all that, but I can say that. I'd shared a wee video online, just saying, look, this isn't a pandemic, and I had people private messaging me from New Zealand and America and Canada and Ireland saying, look, thanks for sharing this, because we know what it's like.
Is this when you're stuck in the hospital with COVID and nobody can come and see you?
That's to tell you.
It's unimaginable for people that didn't go through that, Tommy. Most of us, thankfully.
Well, the thing the psychologist said, that will come up. That will come up at some point. Everything else, will just sort of fade away. But at that point, that will be there. So don't be surprised if it rears its ugly head or whatever, or you talk about it just as we have.
Don't ignore it.
Yeah. But counselling and the stroke psychology, I think as well, because I thought, I'm finished, and as I say, we talk about mental health, and I know it's a buzzword these days, mental health and all that, but I certainly think that walking football is a good medicine for getting people out of the house. Getting them involved, and as you say, just that wee cup of tea and stuff.
Is that when you found walking football then, over this period of time, and you were looking for something to do, something to get back out the door?
Well, I had landed the job with the cruise company, and
what cruise company?
It's P&O, not to be
confused with the ferry service.
Company. So Carnival UK and.
Carnival? They're big ships.
They're
not big, but they're expensive ships. That's what I mean. They're top notch, aren't they? Is that the ones that were built down at Renfrew?
No. That was different. Amira. That was Amira.
Right. Okay. Because they're the same.
So I had this vision of taking walking football on board to the passengers. Right. And I went and bought the footballs. I bought the bibs. I bought the stopwatch and stuff. So it was just great.
Got a whistle?
Got a whistle as well. So at that time, coming in and just getting in contact with yourself and speaking to yourself, it was as if I was always going to do this.
It was meant to be.
Exactly.
Do you need an assistant on the cruise?
Well, there you go. But then you also put me onto it was obviously Pollock.
2 Postal Boys on a Carnival cruise. You believe that?
I know. Football fans in training. Done it, loved it.
George,
fantastic. Yes. Yeah, George and Andy, and just the guys that were on it. It was just brilliant. It was everything that it's about, and what your club's about. I know that Pollock's a big organisation and stuff. And,
it's Pollock United. Yeah. And there's so much going on. You know. And when you said to me, "I'm looking for somebody to get a wee bit fitter," it just fits right in, doesn't it? It's perfect.
And I got it. I think it was that week. It was just about to start.
That's right.
I came
Simon
along,
was brilliant.
and I thought, do you know what? I thought, even through all the roadworks, I thought, I want to go to this. I want to go to it because the guys made it interesting. It wasn't mundane or anything like that. It was really, really good. And all the wee things like the traffic light system, watching with your food and all that, it's all really, really good. I've actually changed my lifestyle through that. So I've got the 2 poached eggs every morning on the brown bread with a glass of beetroot juice, because my blood pressure was sky high, so it's brought that down. So there's been lots of barriers, Simon, I think, over the past.
Is your health better now? A bit better? Is it
I would say at the minute, I'm 98% fit.
Right, and you're going back to cruising soon?
Yes, definitely.
So there's lots of health checks to do that, so you must be in a good place health-wise.
Well, there was a lot of red tape there, Simon. I get that because you can't be seen to go on a ship in case you just drop dead.
Yeah,
so,
out in the middle of it.
But it's been tough. Lots have happened to me, not just the COVID and stuff, but as I say, my mental health and that at the time. But I think I'm a wee bit stronger now, and I've got this drive. And I took, don't laugh, but I could never ever really swim, so I've been taking professional swimming lessons.
That's handy for the cruise.
Well,
to be honest, if one of them goes down, your swimming lessons aren't really going to do that. That's good, really.
But
you better get and drive a wee boat lessons.
Yeah, I mean,
push folk after a wee boat and get on it.
And I've been watching reruns of The Love Boat. I've got that on my.
So you're going to say Titanic?
No. But The Love Boat. I remember that Captain Stubin and all that, and Gopher and Isaac and all that.
No,
don't you, Simon?
Of course I remember. I've just not admit that. That's why you chose that career path.
No, we the telly growing up in Postal. There you go. You know what I mean? Yeah, we did colour one as well.
That's it.
But
I was 10 years after me then. But seriously, we didn't. We had Black, White and Springburn. We're talking about, it must have been late 60s before we got a colour telly.
Right.
1970, something like that. Round about decimalisation.
I'll
tell you how long ago it is. It's round about when the Jags last won a trophy.
Well, there you go. Well, we got our telly at the back of a DER van. You remember that?
I do.
I remember my dad actually. My dad rifled the back of it. It was the 50 pences that he put in.
Aye, the meters.
So he was up at court and they told him, they says that it was a heinous crime that he had committed, and especially to the general public, and to the television hiring company.
Yes.
Sentenced him to 3 months, and he thanked him. He went, "Thank you, Your Honour." He went, "Thank you. Why are you thanking me?" He went, "It'll be full by the time I get back out again." You know what I mean? But, you can use that, Simon. You can use
our gas meter used to get tanned right. You know, in the hall. Shillings it took. Shillings it took.
Get the negatives. No farthings.
There was no 10 bulbs. There was no 10 bulbs in the days.
Get the negatives on the meter. Gas meter.
Happy days.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So, I mean, to summarise, I think walking football. And playing football just in general, and sort of mental health and just general health, I think can run full circle, and it's a great remedy.
See, when you said about your GP, our eyes line up when you said walking football. That's interesting because now there's an awareness out there about walking football because people are talking about it and do things like this.
Yeah.
But one of our big aims is to get into the health service so that when you go to the doctor and say my blood pressure, and she says your blood pressure's through the roof, you need to lose a bit of weight, whatever it might be, they can refer you. And we want to be one of the things that you can be referred to. Because walking football encompasses mental health, physical health.
Well, I can back that up. I took part in the tournament. I played with Rossvale, and I just get chatting to this guy from one of the Ayrshire teams, and he went, "Are you played okay there, big fella?" I went, "You're not too bad yourself." I says, "I'm looking okay for 2 strokes." And he went, "You talking about? I've had 2 strokes." And we just went to the side of the park. He had been through the full thing. He had 2 strokes. He had COVID as well. He didn't think he was going to get out of hospital. And we stood there. I don't know how long we stood there. We never even got each other's names. But the fact that...
It wasn't a mirror you were looking in at?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, the way he was talking, the way I was talking was like... There was that understanding.
Similar age?
I'm 51 now. This guy's 55. And we spoke about the dark times. We spoke about those days when
only you and him would, and other people that went through it.
And after it, do you know what? I think actually it gave me a socially distanced. Do you know what? I'm glad I came here today. You know,
he was the same, no doubt.
As I say, and as I mentioned to Matt as well, Matt had put a wee email thanking him for, that was just great to be to involve in it, and just see if anything, we want to care about results or anything, me and this guy, and I hope he's doing well, by the way, but that for me was a good tonic.
What team did he play for?
It was one of the Ayrshire teams. Goodness, I hope he's watching and I hope he's okay, but it was just good to get that. I thought, here for a reason, you know, the football's really
I think that's really important, Tommy, what you've touched on, and you'll know this from your background in caring and whatnot. Very often we just need some reassurance that we're not, A, that we're not the only ones that are in that boat, that there's other people, and B, that there's always somebody worse off. Isn't there? There's plenty got COVID and never came out again.
Well, there's the thing about...
There's plenty had strokes and never got their faculties back. I mean, never got their movement back and their speech.
You talk to people, if you just... Because I say, there's always that welcome. It doesn't matter where you turn up, whatever session you go to walk football, you always get a welcome.
Yes.
Or somebody wants to say hello, and they're like, oh, how are you doing? What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. I'll trade you my 2 strokes for your hip replacement and stuff. So it's amazing how people say, like, oh, I've had heart problems or this, or... You know, it's coming together.
I did an interview with a lad, Colin Harvey, a couple of weeks ago from Domali. He lives in Domali now, he runs a wee business up there, and he travels down to play walking football. It's fascinating, the journeys that he does. And totally out of the blue, he started telling me about anxiety and how he's always suffered it since he was a wee boy. And it was something that I couldn't have really told you what it meant. And all of a sudden, I've got people phoning me up, messaging me saying, I loved that interview, because I've had that for years. It's amazing the lives we can touch just by telling our stories.
I've been there, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and that can be anything from, as I say, I mean, I spent a lot of days in bed and stuff. As I say, I knew when I spoke to my counsellor that Thursday I had to get a shave. You know, that was, pick yourself up and get out into the garden and stuff. But I remember me and the missus going to the shop, and the shop was so busy, and I had to leave the trolley. I went, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. And I knew what I was talking about because I had supported people in the same situation. So I know how they feel.
So there's an awareness there.
Yes.
That's the danger, is when the person doesn't have that awareness. Doesn't know what's happening to them.
You get overwhelmed. I mean, I went to my partner, as I say, she was going to.
And what was that? Was it the price of the shopping that was getting you going?
You have came to Portsmouth, which was just stick it in my bag, Simon.
It's not her pain.
I know. It was really just the whole the busyness of things. Just
who knows what it is?
See, when you've been stuck in the house all that time, right? And as I say, I was going to get the COVID jab with my partner, and I had to stop. We were going over the bridge at Knightswood, and she went, "You okay? You okay? You get a breath on it?" No, I was overwhelmed. I was just like, just too much to take in. And stuff. And I remember taking the train station and that. I remember taking the lift when we came back. I remember taking the lift. I just never had the energy. I was upstairs. Didn't want to be enclosed, So I get that. But as I say, getting out and getting fresh air, as I say, if you can get into walking football, I would recommend it to anybody. And it's just as we're doing now, we're chewing the fat, we're having a cup of tea, and it's all the different wee things.
Even for a team like Rossvale.
Rossvale, I'm a Rossvale man.
How did that happen?
Well,
it's quite an affliction. I'm a Jags man, but now I feel quite well off.
Well,
I'm used to getting it ripped out of me for being a Jags man.
I mean, I'm a season ticket holder at Celtic Park, but I always kind of followed the juniors and stuff. And I remember when Rossvale, as I say, started about 10 years ago. The sort of junior, the club's been running since 1976.
Yes.
But I got asked to be kitman. And I thought, what an honour to be asked to be kitman. And one of the first teams that we played was Pollock.
Right.
And Pollock were so welcoming. It was unbelievable. They were one of the teams that wasn't like, Rossvale's these big times, we came in and loved it. As I say, we came over to Newlandsfield and can't mind if it was up the stair or down the stair. We sniffed up just to welcome us over.
Yes.
But so there's always been that. I mean, Pollock.
That's before the game. All the players get a wee snifter.
I remember one time getting into the wrong dugout. That was funny. But,
did you win? That's the $10 million question.
Listen, we were getting. I think we won. I think it was it Stonehouse United. So we won our first ever league game, and then they got disbanded. I think it was. Okay. So that result went out the window. So we were playing at Petersall at the time, and then as I say,
where do you play now?
Where are we now? I think we're down. Is it Ben? Is it Benburb? I think they're
the Bens.
I've not been doing any of the games. I've actually.
I don't think for the great season. I think they stayed up certainly. But
stayed up, but that we done well. I mean, we had with the Jags legend in. We had Lochian.
Right.
Lachlan come in and that with the guys there, and it was just great to be.
And is the walking football a big part of Rossvale now?
It started the Thursday night. The guys play up at the.
We had them over for a friendly. You were over, weren't you?
I don't think it was over for that. I don't think
it was Sunday morning.
No, I don't think it was here for that one. But as soon as I found out that what's it, jump ship you called it. I'm a Rossville man through and through. I was lucky enough I got asked to be at the top table and do a chat about the club and their 40th anniversary and how sort of me growing up and different things, and I never had any job really prospects at the time. I had no O-levels, but I took a lot out of football and stuff, and it was great. And as soon as you meet Big Ian Gray, and God rest his mum and dad, they sell you the club, and that's the hook. You know, and I loved it. And
once you're part of a club, you're part of a much bigger family, the football family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I was fortunate enough to go to like Holland and stuff in Spain with the teams, and
Postal Boy makes good.
You know, and it was like going to the boys.
And not shoplifting. Normally, when Postal Boys go to the continent, it's to do a bit of shoplifting.
I used to love it, Simon, when I went for an interview, and people used to say, "Where'd you come from?" And I go, "Postal Park." Where is that? It's between Swinburne and Milton and Mayhill, Hill, you know. No, fun.
My mum used to tell the story that my stepfather was from Largs and his dad was a policeman. Oh. And she used to say that when they met, he said, where are you from? And he's from Ayrshire, obviously. Right. And she said, Postle Park. And he thought, that sounds like a really nice place. Yeah, doesn't it? Postle Park.
Well, Largs is quite posh as well. So yes. I mean, even the fish fingers are manicured down there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that brings us nicely to the entertainment side of it.
Yeah.
Are you still keeping that going? I've got a couple of your CDs at home.
Oh, is that
absolutely tremendous?
So, what do you do? You play
for getting rid of the
neighbours? Yeah, usually with coffee, you know. I used to do a lot for the hospitals. I used to make people sick. No, but yeah, the entertainment side of things. I've loved it. I've had quite a good.
Doing your MC. Is it a bit of part?
Yeah, well,
is it on the ships? Is that what you're going to be doing?
I'm going to be doing that. I'm not actually going to be singing on the ships. I'm going to be an entertainment host and doing like the singles evenings, like everybody grab a wee glass of wine. This is Deirdre from Denniston, meet Bob from Belliston. It's that one, the get-togethers and doing like and being there for the sailaways and greeting people and stuff and different things and
the host for the most kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Have you done it before? That job.
Yeah, well, I gigged in Blackpool. I was in Blackpool for 5 years, and I remember getting myself on the Preston circuit as well. So I did Preston, all the clubs down there.
Okay.
And, really.
But this meet and greet thing, you've done that before?
Yeah, I've did my courier on the coach and stuff. I took 72 women away to the Cotswolds.
Right. Did you ever get caught for that?
Officially, I took them away officially, you know.
All right.
Just doing the bingo night every night, but as I say, the old you get the hotel room keys and all that. Pasty and stuff, you know what I mean?
That's another video. We'll do that video another time, Tommy.
Aye, but yeah.
So why are they not letting you sing? Is it?
Well, it's not that. It's not
they've
that
heard the CD as well.
They've probably heard it as well, you know. And as I say, it's good for.
You're very cautious because you're a good chatter.
I know. I try my best. But one of the things I did do was I've not put a lot on social media. I've been quite quiet on social media, but I did do all my charity work and stuff as well. And there was one time I got a nice phone call, and it was from one of the hospices, and they went, "We're just wondering if you'd like to come down and have a look at our premises." And I went, "What?" They went, "Well, we want to thank you for everything that you've done for us. We want to give you a tour of the building and come down, and we'll do some home baking for you. We'll give you your tea."
Lovely.
And all that. So I didn't put that on social media and stuff, but I came out of there 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Another one was there was a lady come up and said, "We must come and see Tommy Twigg singing." And I went, "Well, you're here, who tell you to come?" "Well, there's 80s here, but it was my sister." I said, "Bring her through." She says, "Sadly, she's at home, she's not got long to go, she's terminally ill." I says, "Where do you live?" She says, "Why do you want to know where I live?" She says, "I live in Murcia in Spain." I went, "All right." I said, "Where does your sister live?" And she says, "Down in Saltcote." I says, "Look, I'm doing something on Sunday. Would you like me to come down and sing at your sister's bedside?" Wow. So I've done that. I went down.
Captive audience.
Just all all the family were there, and obviously that lady was going back to Spain, so all the family were getting together. And I walked in, and the look in this wee woman's face, she looked and she went, Tommy Twigg's in my house. I says, why do you think they're here?
Lovely cupboards.
Aye. So I did that, as I say. It was nice, and I remember being on the coach going to Blackpool, and we stopped at one of the hotels, and girl put her hand up with everybody behind her, and she went, Tommy Twigg. I says, that depends. If you're for the inland revenue, are you going to tell me the baby's okay? She says, no. She says, seriously, she says, on behalf of my dad and all the family, we appreciate you coming down. Sadly, my mum passed away, but we'll never forget that.
Brilliant. Makes it all worthwhile, Tommy.
Yep.
Fantastic. Where did you play in Blackpool? All over?
I worked for a wee holiday company called Blackpool Breaks and Breaks to Go, the best. Not to be confused with other Blackpool companies.
There are other companies of yours.
Yeah, they are indeed. And it's one of those ones where I got a wee gig, and sometimes people just give you a chance, and I said, look, let me send you one of the CDs. And he went, no, I don't need one of your CDs. I says, well, let me come and sing for free. He says, no, you're not coming to sing for free. You go down here and come and do this. And then from there, I never really looked back, and it just kind of moved on. As I say, I got involved with the holiday company and
When
stuff.
was that? How long ago was that?
That was about 5 or 6 years ago now. So
before COVID, because it's struggling now. It's getting back on its feet.
It's getting back on its feet, and I think we've frightened everybody, haven't we? We've kind of, so. But no, I like. I mean, Simon, I've performed in front of 5 people, and I've performed in front of 1,500 people. Right. So you just got to go and do it,
Yeah.
But as I say, I went back to do a wee gig, and obviously my memory's not been great, obviously through the stroke and stuff.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I messed up one of the songs. I messed up one of the lyrics in one of the songs.
Okay.
And I apologised to the wee lady that was sitting with her daughter, and I went, sorry about that earlier on. She went, what are you talking about? I said, I don't know what the words. She says, never even knows, So, but it's good, and when you're up there...
Coming from Glasgow, you should know. You just go, Sherry Ball.
Do you know, Sherry Ball? And see when you're doing south, right? When you're doing south, sometimes I don't think our friends down in England I don't think they get what kind of humour in that, and trying to get them involved. They're not as passionate. As soon as you start singing, they're up on the floor, and it's great,
Yes.
But then when you're going to places and they're saying, look, because of COVID, there can only be so many people here. It's a shame, there can only be so many people in a room, and you can't dance. And for me, being an entertainer, if you're performing...
That's how you know it's working, isn't it? When the people engage.
Aye. And
I remember playing a gig at Fast Lane. Tommy, I played keyboards in the band. We played at this American base in Fast Lane.
Right.
And I always remember the stage because we were so spread out. Right. It was a big stage, and we made the mistake of using it all. Yeah. So I was miles away. The drummer was away back there. And we had a good fallback system. But we started, and we're used to pubs and clubs. Mm-hmm. But this is a seated audience with a big dance floor in front of the stage, and nobody got up. And you get used to a set that you play, and where to put in the dance songs and whatnot, and how to get a momentum going. And we tried everything, and we just couldn't get it. And it didn't help the size of the stage because the volume wasn't there. Yeah. You couldn't really hear, and we thought we were dying. And when you think you're dying, you start to die.
That's right.
And at the end, when we played, I think we played Leonard Skinner or something to finish off. Yeah. They all lit their lighters, or the servicemen. And that was the first sign we had that we were doing anything right. Yep. And what it was one of the big Yanks says after I came up and said, oh, brilliant. We said, why was nobody up on the dance floor? The Americans don't dance to a band. Yeah. They watch a band. Yeah. And they get up and dance once the disco comes on afterwards.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
So we hadn't died at the all, but we felt as though we were dying at the
Yeah, excuse me. But I remember one time...
and it's harder for you on your own. When you're the spotlight man.
A wee lady came up and she went, Tommy, I have to say that one has had a delightful afternoon, and your choice of music was just simply wonderful. I went, do us a favour, and says, that chap over there, his name's Paul, he runs a company, please go and tell that to him. And she went, oh, no, what? I don't think one can do that. I went, why ever not? Not if I have to lie twice. She said.
What was the comedian? See you the next act.
I hope you make it through winter, you know. But no, it's so funny. And some of the things that people say to you. I remember I was gigging somewhere in Liverpool, and a lady came up and she says, "You had me crying tonight." I went, "Oh, I'm sorry." She went, "No," she says, "You sung Del Shannon, you sung Runaway." And she says, "I remember years ago, with my partner, we're down at the docks, I just met him, and Del Shannon was in the charts." And she says, "It just brought back memories of my late husband." And I thought,
music does that all the time, doesn't it?
Aye.
To all of us.
I know. And you've even asked me about the Sunny Govern Radio. You've even asked me about my radio show.
I didn't know anything about that. I was on Sunny Govern Radio.
Aye.
For the drugs campaigning that we do.
Yeah.
So you were a DJ there?
I was a presenter there for a couple of years. I sorted out Omo and interviews. So I had Daniel O'Donnell, Lena Martell, Barbara Dixon, the Crankies, Van Davidosi, hope Ian and Jeanette's well.
This is a while ago then.
This is me with Tony Christie. Oh, absolute gentleman.
Wow.
Tony Christie as well.
Did he come in? He got in?
No, I got him in Blackpool.
So none of these folk came in Govan, you had to go in there.
The late Les McEwen as well, absolutely fantastic. Sydney, God bless Sydney. Yes. What a gentleman. What a gentleman, you know. So I was fortunate. I sourced all my own interviews and stuff, and invested in the wee task cam thing, the wee recorder and stuff. So, I thoroughly enjoyed that, you know. But obviously,
when was it on?
It was on. It was called The Reminiscence Hour Show, and it was on every Sunday between 12 and 1. Yes. And I played a lot of oldies. And what I used to do was, I used to go into the community. I used to go to the local care homes, and what would happen is I would get people singing. Right. I would have the pensioners and the folks, the residents singing. Obviously, got permission to do that. But there was one time. What's the big pub? My memory's terrible. Just at the Salt Coats. The two
Salt Coats?
No, sorry, no, the Salt Market. Sorry.
Okay.
What's the pub on the car? That's terrible.
The Neil's and the Black. It's
the oldest
the
pub.
The Spirit Bar.
No, it's the oldest pub there.
Up the hill, up High Street.
No, it's on the corner room for the High Court. You should know where the High Court is.
I do know where the High Court is. Yeah.
I'll come back to you. We can edit that in later. It was just what happened was I had took the show. They have the what do you call it? The wee thingy guy on.
I know where the pub is. You mean on the corner, just along for Slater's.
Right on the corner there.
There always have an act on in the back.
Morgan, that's right. And I recorded. I'll come back to this. I recorded the show. I brought the afternoon from there, and there was a guy singing, right. And I remember about a couple of weeks later, I get an email for the station saying, "Look, you were in this pub." I went, "Yeah." Well, we had a girl phone us saying that was her dad singing, and her dad used to sing that song to her when he was putting her to bed at night. So what happened was we arranged it that we managed to get a copy of the show, and we got it to him, and what we done was we put that song together on a thing for him as well. So just things like that, you know, just being, as I say, being out in the community.
Just things like that. Wow.
Well, it's things I enjoyed, you know, and if people tell you different things, you know, and things,
so powerful, Tommy. Music, sport, football.
Absolutely. And it's been this football. It's been a godsend, and particularly the football fans. You know?
I've got an idea forming in my wee head because of your background and what you're doing, and I know you're going away in the ship shortly in a few months' time. Yeah. But see, on a Monday after our session, normally it's not on today because it's a bank holiday. Yeah. Jim Purvis is normally here with a guy Kenny from Sporting Memories.
Sport Memories, yeah.
You aware of them?
Yes, I've heard of them. I've not actually been to the session.
Well, I'm going to ask you to come along one Monday as soon as possible, and it's just a planner. Yeah. But we want to get back. We want to get into the homes. We don't want to get into a home. We want to be in touch with the homes.
Yes, absolutely.
We can't go into them yet. There's still the COVID thing going on, and there's still a reluctance there for people to mix it, especially vulnerable people. Yeah. But I'd love your opinion and your thoughts on how we can go about that. See if we could attach some music to it or whatever.
Do you know,
so powerful.
It's
basically for people with dementia and people with maybe isolation problems or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember. I mean, I worked in a care home years ago, and I used to do sort of like my activities coordinator as well. And what we would do is we would get people to sing, and sometimes when people sing, that's them coming out their shell, that's them introducing themselves to the rest of the group. And this girl was coming up, and she looked and she paused, and just before she came into the room, she started crying. She went, "Is that my daddy singing?" And I went, "Yeah." She said, "My daddy's not sung that song. Can I get 2 words out of him when I come to visit him?
Right.
But you've now got him singing."
Brilliant.
You know,
yeah.
It's amazing how that music does.
Apparently, this is Jim Purvis that told me this of Sport and Memories. The sport is the second thing, the second best stimulant for those memories and emotions, and music is number one. As soon as you hear the first bar of a song, memories start coming back, you know.
You show somebody a photo, I mean, somebody might not know what day of the week it is, but you show them something, say it's like the old firm or whatever, "Oh, that's Billy McNeil back in 1957, that's John Gregg, that's Greggy there," you know. And
when my dad had dementia and I took the kids to see him, he didn't know the kids, he didn't know me. I think he thought I was my brother or whatever, but he was a bit confused about who we were, but he knew we were somebody important. And my son, who would probably be about 12 at the time, said to him, "Were you in Lisbon, Grandpa?" And he immediately named the team, you know, the 67 team.
Well,
because those memories are intact. It's the short-term memory, depending on what type of dementia it is, or Alzheimer's or whatever. So very, very powerful. You think about helping us with that? With some input. I don't mean come along every week and sing to everybody. Although that
no,
would be
I mean,
nice
I think
as well.
that would be, as I say, just to really to get out of the house again, I suppose, as well, isn't it? And I know.
Or just tell us how to get in touch. You might be got contacts in these places. Because the name, see, the more I think about it, Tommy Twigg's is a stage name, isn't it? You couldn't be anything else with a name like Tommy Twigg.
I know. But no, I can certainly get you some contacts for the care homes and stuff, and it would be great. As I say, I think they're kind of loosening things up a wee bit. But you guys, if you are able to go there to do a session, I'm sure I can sort you out with that. A few places to go to, and I know George has asked me to do the still game thing. Come over and have a wee chat. I remember taking part in the still game project a few years ago, and it was what was it through? It was through one of the housing associations, and I was singing at Celtic Park for the pensioners, just to get them out.
So what is the still games? What's George talking about? I need to get him in here.
I don't know, that'll be for part 2, I think, Simon.
I think so.
I
think so. I'm thinking still game walking football and the violence that was involved. It probably didn't want to put people off walking
I've seen
football.
I've seen that.
So when do you go away?
I'm away the 5th August.
Right.
And I'm away till the 9th of December.
Is this with Cunard?
It's not with Cunard, no, it's with P&O Cruises. It's not to be confused with P&O Ferries, 2 totally different entities, let me get that out there.
Are they totally? 2 different
they are. It's the same kind of flag, they've got the same flag though. So I'm going to go and do that, and they're part of Carnival in Cunard as well. So.
You take somebody's job, or you take one of the...
I've waited nearly 3 years, Simon, for this job, and
I know that because of lockdown and all.
Do you know what? And it's been a lot of red tape and stuff, and I think what I've came through, I think I deserve this wee opportunity to go and do it.
For sure.
So
well, stay healthy until then, and keep playing walking football, even if it is for that Rossvale mob.
Rossvale through and through, 1976.
You know your heart's on that side.
Aye, but I've had a replacement. Some people say I haven't got a heart, you know. But no, Rossvale, I love everything that they've done up there. They've been great to me. The club, as I say, but coming down here and kind of been involved, I feel like, just taking part in the sessions with.
There are a bunch of ex-Wiggins.
Oh, excellent! No, fantastic. I've been one of the top ultras there, the Rossvale Ultra.
I'll maybe come up some Thursday. You're up there because they're a really nice bunch of lads.
Great,
and there's a few of them I want to interview as well. There's a real few characters in there.
They're absolutely fantastic, and they're just like
it'd be good fun. Thursday nights, did you say?
Thursday night up at it's usually about 7:00 or 7:15.
Whereabouts?
Up at the leisure dome. So you go up at the back.
The Bishop Briggs.
Aye. They got up in the back there, so you've got Ian Givens, the contact, and Ian Gray as well. So get yourself up, and, you know.
Aye.
And I know
Big, always good.
Big John comes up with a lot of time for
Aye, Big John Campbell plays up there.
He's played for other teams, I know. You do that as well, don't you?
No, me.
You've got more clubs than Jack Nicklaus, haven't you?
Try a game. Try a game for anybody. He's a done, Tommy. Tommy, it's been a real privilege.
Simon, a pleasure.
You'll come and see us again when you come back for your cruise and let us know how
Definitely, and what I'll do is if you see me sharing like on any friends and family things, then please feel free to use that. There's lots of discounts there. It's legit, by the way. It's just say,
I didn't want to mention that here in case you get inundated.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I thought it was special. I thought you were offering it to me.
No.
No. So that's for the cruises, for discount cruises.
Aye, definitely.
And they are real discounts. Because they'll be trying to get people back into cruising now, I take it.
I think so. There'll be different protocols there. I fancy that there'll be maybe single sort of one-way things, and there'll be like buffets now, so you'll go up and it'll be, you just point to what you want rather than going up and helping yourself.
Right.
So,
and there'll be a whole testing regime, I would imagine, to get on the boat in the first place.
Aye.
What worries me is getting off the boat at different ports. You know how you go offshore for a couple of hours?
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to manage that.
Well, that for me, getting back to the caring side of things again, as much as there'll be folk that don't want to go and visit the places, so you'll have to, your job will be to stay behind, do some activities or do a bit of cleaning. But me, I would rather they sent me to somebody's cabin, say somebody needed assistance and was in a wheelchair. I would rather go and push that person's wheelchair so that they could get the opportunity to visit,
or whatever.
And that would be me doing that, you know. And so.
And the cruises are like that. Everything's facilitated to try and include everyone, so that everyone gets an experience.
And I think I'm buzzing to hopefully take walking football on there, because it's got everything. It's got all the ingredients. It's non-contact.
How many balls are you going to need? They'll be over the edge all the time. I've seen you shooting, Tommy.
I know.
You're shooting.
Listen, I wasn't a bad defender in my day. I wasn't a bad defender, you know. Scored a goal when I was at school, but that's about it. And I love that. I love that. You guys say, what is it they always say? I think Andy always says, I remember my first goal. It's brilliant. It's a great expression. I remember my first goal. But no, listen, as I say, keep up the good work, and it's great listening to everybody's stories as well and stuff.
I think you should get a team up on the boat, and we'll bring a team to play them, some friendlies on the ship.
That would be.
I'm working hard here to try and get some trips going. Right, we'll start with Bishop Briggs, right? We'll start there.
As I say, come up.
Again, Tommy, thank you.
Simon, pleasure.
Yeah,
thank you.
Brilliant. Could talk all day. I think we are.
I fell in love kinda easy. I knew it just had to be. One wonderful night, you were there in the lights, looking so lovely to me. How could I ever resist you? What else could anyone do? So I took a chance that you wanted romance, and I fell in love with you. Why was I falling so easy? This I can always explain. That look in your face and my heart starts to race. So I was happy again. How could I ever dismiss it? For I could perfectly see by the look in your eyes, I could only surmise that you fell in love with me. Fell in love kinda easy. I knew it just had to be. One wonderful night, you were there in the lights, looking so lovely to me. How could I ever resist you? What else could anyone do? So I took a chance that you wanted romance, and I fell in love with you. So I took a chance that you wanted romance, and I fell in love with you.